I actually want to talk about two things: living in truth and also paying attention to the thoughts of your mind, analyzing and self-correcting the thoughts that we have. I want to talk about these two subjects today. I'm going to keep it short and brief because, I just want to implement, put in this positive perspective in your reality and your mind. So basically, living in truth. How much do we live in truth? I know that there's quite a few people that's living a life, that's doing things as we speak right now that they do not like, but they are tolerant of that situation, of what they're doing, and I know it sounds cliche, because, a lot of people say, it is what it is, and, I got to do this because of that. But when we look at the mental analyst of what that is, it is, listen, our minds can be our biggest oppressors. If we mentally consume these thoughts of, well, if I don't get this taken care of, then this ain't gonna happen. You have to know the power of your mind, how much your subconscious contributing to projecting this reality to where you literally manifest these things that happen for you. This is why in the Bible it teaches you to have faith in God. True believers, a lot of religious people, a lot of Christian people say that they believe in God, but feel that as if they weren't to go to work, then their stability will be affected. When knowing that all is provided for you, you have all that you need at this very moment. You have to know it's all within, and you have to know the source, and you have to know that God is always providing no matter what. And if you're not implementing that type of faith, if you're not implementing that type of truth within your life, then of course you're going to fall short, you're going to suffer. We're going to go to those jobs that we don't want to go to. We're going to tolerate things that we don't want to tolerate. If you don't have that much mental ability to think beyond of what you're literally oppressing yourself to think or to believe in. This is true. We have to look at our mindsets. We have to look at our minds. Once we start looking at our minds, we start realizing that we have all these we think on an everyday basis. Our thought patterns is running literally 24/7. So once you start analyzing and paying attention to certain thoughts and asking yourself, what is this telling me about me? What is this showing me about me? It's a lot of people who self-doubt. It's a lot of people who mentally encourage themselves internally. And these are just simple things that we can look at and appreciate and be aware of and acknowledge this within ourselves. Like our thoughts are so important. It is the power that we hold within ourselves is basically controlling the way that we think. The way that if we can control the way that we think, we can control the way that we feel, because thoughts literally creates feelings. And if you're having a bunch of negative thoughts, you're going to have a bunch of negative feelings. If you're having a bunch of positive thoughts, you're going to have a bunch of positive feelings. And if we were to seek this, just, pay attention to this on an everyday basis. Some people may do it sometimes, but I'm just being a light worker and letting you guys know this is something that I practice on an everyday basis. I'm always self-correcting, whether I'm having bad thoughts, negative thoughts. And then when I do have negative thoughts, I like to sometimes call my thoughts demons, and I like to sometimes call my thoughts angels. Like, okay, that's a demon. I got to find a higher perspective, or I got to understand why I just felt like that. Why did I just feel that way? You understand me? And this is just what's going to get us closer to ourselves. This is what's going to get us to know ourselves better, to really accept ourselves much better, to understand why certain things are the way that they are, and why we feel the way that we feel, and why we move the way that we move. Because a lot of times we consume these thoughts that comes from this reality, and we start projecting without actually analyzing what it is doing to us. Understand me? And that's my main point here. And also, living in truth. Once you are living in truth, then it's a level of vibration. It's a frequency. Understand that when you start living in truth, you are no longer, I don't care what you've been through. You take full responsibility of your life. You take full responsibility of your life. You are not a victim. You are the creator. You are, without your observation, nothing exists. So when we live in truth, we cannot make excuses. We cannot choose to not look at ourselves. We have to look at ourselves on an everyday basis and at all times. When you're living in truth, you're self-aware, period. Because everything is you. And if you aren't in tune with what is, what naturally is, because now we live in a world where everything's modified. We live in a world where we have to pay attention to the foods we eat. We have to pay attention to the music that we listen to. We have to pay attention to the movies that we watch, the shows that we watch, the videos that we watch. We have to pay attention to the conversations we choose to indulge with. We have to pay attention to the people we choose to indulge with. There's so many modified and altered unnatural ways of living and thinking and being, to where we have to come back to truth and know what is natural for us. What is this, And does it serve me? A lot of people have friendships, relationships, associates, family members who don't serve that's not your purpose, and it doesn't serve you for the simple fact that you keep running into the same block, to the same frequency, to the same vibration. Why is that? We have to outgrow. Jesus had to leave his village in order to find believers. So we have to individually just take a step back and look at ourselves. This is the time to take this time out. Because if you aren't doing the work, I'm 100% that there will be a new world order, and people who are not falling in line with that vibration or that frequency, then you shall perish. And when I say perish, it just means that you will be consumed as a follower, as a disabled, blind, and deaf person on this realm. There's a lot of people who aren't conscious right now. And this is my job. This is what I love to do. This is what I'm here for. I'm a master of self, enlightened by the Most High. I'm grateful. And, I didn't want to get too carried away, but I'm feeling really anointed right now. I can talk about these things for hours. I want you guys to really pay attention to what I'm saying. If anybody can understand, I know some will, some won't. Some may take information out of it, some won't. But long as I'm putting the light out there, then what can I say? I love myself. Peace to the gods.